Hey there, I'm Crystal, Miss Make It Rad. We thought it'd be fun to take you inside our camper and give you a little tour of how we set things up right before we go on a trip. Come on inside. Hey there, welcome inside Glampy. So we do have two small children, which means that a lot of what we've done is to try to accommodate for the destruction that follows with two little ones. We have a 7-year-old and a 3-year-old. We do have a shoes off rule in our camper, which I know is hit and miss with some folks, but for us we feel like if we can minimize as much dirt coming in as possible off the gate, then that just sort of helps with the length of the trip. So little mat here, but the nice thing is we do have a little cubby down here which we can shove shoes in. You can see we've already got some preloaded shoes ready to go. You'll also notice that we have some covers here on the seats. This fabric is really durable and easy to clean, but again, with kids and feet in camping, we have found it's a lot less stressful if we know we can go home and just grab everything and throw it in the washer. So these are just little couch slip covers that I found on Amazon and just sort of figured out by size and measurement what would be best to cover what gets the most use during our day trips when we're traveling. Up here there's two great cabinets. The cabinet on the left is where most of our media stuff is. So we've got one of these rad disc gear cases that we keep all of our DVDs in, and then a few overflow little DVD player here, and this is basically when it's rainier, we're winding down, where we let the kids pick what they want to watch and put a little show on. Some soft and fuzzy blankets just for when you are cuddling up. And then on the other side here, our kiddos sleep right here in these two locations. The table pops down and the couch actually pulls out. So they each have their own little beds. They do like to make their beds. So we tried to put the bedding in a place where they can easily help to get it down and put it up. And I've just basically got two fitted sheets folded in here just so that they can grab their own sheets and put them down. And then just regular comforters. We found that they were more comfortable when they could sleep like it was a bed at home. We did try the sleeping bag thing out and it ended up just being a bunch of stuff and then still wanting blankets. So I have found for storage, if I use ponytail holders, these are large black ponytail holders, and I roll it up, it's easier to get it in and out, and it also allows me to fit it in here a little better than if I just try to fold it up and essentially shove it. Sliding through here, there's USB ports, kind of actually hidden in a bunch of different locations, but at night when we have tablets or phones, this is where they usually go to live, and then we just store the USB cables up here so that they're easy to grab when needed, and also easy to hide away when not in use. That's main living area. I'm gonna actually slide you down here to now where the clothes go. So the nice thing is that we all essentially have our own closet space. The girls, we have given them the larger closet because they can get in and out themselves. And there's enough space in here for me to pack for their 30,000 wardrobe changes throughout the camping trip. So our girls each kind of have color-coded hangers. They know whose is who. They're close enough in size that this helps to sort of separate it out. And then I put in their little bins down here, the things that don't go on hangers. And again, it's more just about the easy grab and get for them so that they can self-manage in changing. We also actually put all our towels in here. We tried a bunch of different spaces, but we found that the closer it was to the shower, the easier it was to get when needed. And again, with the roll method, this just works best for us. It's easier for me to see what I'm getting and grabbing. One of my favorite little features in here is where we hide our broom. So this is a standard broom that my husband helped me measure and then sod so that we could actually allow it to fit in this space easily. It was a little tricky to try to find something that was like standard size broom but would fit in a place where it was tucked away and I didn't have to stare at it all the time. The shower. So, couple cool things happening in here. One, we have these really cool suction cup storage units. I got these from Target, and all sorts of different suction cup methods here, but so that we can bring with us all of our regular showering necessities, and still be able to basically shower like we're at home. We also upgraded our shower head. Highly recommend this. My husband found this as an Oxygenics. We just got it off of Amazon, but it is a game changer in the shower category there. And then bringing you back to the sleeping space. So this is kind of deceiving because there's actually a ton of storage back here. So much storage that I still have space that I haven't used. So still working on kind of navigating what other things may be essential, but right now it's working. We have this side of the closet. It's still in basically shelf mode. You can actually take it both ways. You can do it so that you can hang hangers, or you can set it up so that you can fold. My husband is a folder. He prefers to fold and put things on shelves. So this is his side. And I am a hanger. I would put everything on hangers if I could. So this is my side, which is still in hanger mode. And I truly hang everything. And then I just keep a little storage bin at the bottom for things that are loose or that I want to be able to grab. So socks and that kind of jazz. There is the overhead space here, which also becomes a space for more clothes, sweaters. But I also put the girls' pillows back here. It's just kind of easier to get it out of the way, and that way I'm not rolling or shoving it anywhere. So that's what this space has been utilized for. We have these great chargers down here. I think Steven did a video earlier on where he showed how he modified these USB ports, which has been wonderful because I am a bit of a wild sleeper, and sometimes we end up with kids back here, and I kept finding that things were getting popped out and I was worried I was going to break things. So this little mod has been really lovely. Everything stays plugged in, and it's just kind of easy to be able to bring our phones back here and drop them off. Underneath the bed, more storage. So this side over here, there's two different bays. The far bay is actually where we store our linen. So we've got toilet paper, paper towels, dog towels, or get dirty towels. So these are things like if we're wiping paws or wiping somebody down, we grab our towels from here. This bay here is actually where I put all the dirties. So when dirty laundry comes in, there's a basket in here and we just throw it in there, and then that's nice because when we get home, I just grab the basket out, take it up to the house, and laundry is shoved right in. And then mirroring, same bins on this side. This little bay here, it's just a bunch of extra blankets. If anybody gets cold or something gets spilled, I have a bunch of blankets in here that can be used. And then this is my empty bay. So I just have empty bins in here for what ifs, or if we're packing and need a place to shove something else, then it can just go in here. It also took me quite a bit to figure out where I wanted to put the extra cushions. So when you make the beds down in the front, or if you decide you want to do a wraparound table, there are different cushions for those different configurations. Some folks put them in the shower, some folks put them up on the bed. I have found with the way that we configure for most of our day use, the 4 that I have left over actually tuck right in here. And this is lovely because when you're traveling, they're not bouncing around. If someone needs to take a shower, you don't have to pull them out and then figure out what to do while the shower dries out. So this works for me. Let me peek you in our bathroom. So this is the toilet. Again, a lot of space that's sort of tucked in and you don't realize until you really start packing things in. This upper mirror opens. This is where we keep most of the day-to-day essentials. So toothbrushes, toothpaste, deodorant, We have sunscreens, lotions, kids' hair detangler. In these little bins in here, I have things like nail clippers, hair ties, barrettes, and then I even have one empty, which is usually when we travel, where I grab the hand soap and store it so that it's not rolling around in here. The little bay underneath the sink is where I keep the blow dryer, the straightening iron, any extra hand soaps, hair brushes. I do find getting these little clear trays, which are mainly all from Target, really help in sort of easy grab and go, but also to keep things from flying around whenever you're in transit. And then more storage. So in here, this is just toilet paper, washcloths for washing your face. We keep our toilet brush, our toilet cleaner, our happy camper, all in these little drawers here. And now to the kitchen. Food. Sometimes it can get a bit chaotic as we're menu planning based on the length of the trip and trying to determine what can we do to use the most that we have without having excess of everything. So I'll kind of start out with, first of all, dishes. I use my upper cabinet for my dishes, my pots and pans. It just seems to work best for me for what I have. Again, these soft little foldies are from Target. I have my coffee pot back there, which is actually... It works. We break it out at night. I make my coffee before we go to bed, so I just simply pull the dishes out. It gives me a chance to load any dishes I've already washed and put them in here. And then up here is where I have stackable, they're nesting bowls, so I have a ton of different bowls and mixing cups in here. Pots and pans are behind this. The middle is not storage. This is actually where our microwave lives. We did opt to get the oven and the microwave. I knew it would steal from some of the space I had, but for me, with the kind of balance of how we like to cook, we felt like this was the option we wanted to lean into. My girls like to graze, so we have put the grazing snacks in a place where they can get them. Again, highly recommend as many containers as you can find to try to help keep things categorized and from getting mixed together. I think it helps to make their decisions more fun when they're trying to choose what they want to eat, and it also gives me a chance to kind of keep an idea of where we are on quantity or what they've been eating. This guy's not a pull-out and it's not as deep, but this is where we keep the mom and dad goodies. A little rough, but that's just kind of where we found to put it and it works for us. I do have down here underneath the oven, this is where I keep my spices. Spices, salts, oils, anything for when we're cooking and grilling. We do sometimes store some of the cookie sheets in the oven, so it works for us. Getting up here. So this is where I store most of the lighter goods. So we have like chips and our breads. Keep the coffee up here, but just sort of any of the different supplemental things that go with our meals. And then on this side over here, I've got our paper plates, plastic silverware, paper towels. I kind of prefer to have sort of a clean, empty space. So I did decide that I do actually like my paper towels up and tucked away, and I just grab them when I need them versus trying to find a different way to mount a paper towel holder. That's just my personal preference. These drawers here, this is where I keep all of our silverware. We have just day-to-day silverware, knives in here. This is where my spoons, spatulas, all that good stuff live. And then down here in this little guy, this is where I keep the toaster and the mixer. Rolling here, there's 2 cabinets that pull out from underneath the sink. The bottom cabinet is actually where I keep all of my cleaning stuff. So we have cleaning supplies, kitchen towels, drying mat for when we do dishes. And then I have in the very back my little reserve here, which we learned one of the first times we went camping. I keep little laundry soap, and then this here is a can of quarters. I have found that the washers and dryers at campsites can be savage sometimes. So having the ability to be ready to go and just conquer my own machine versus trying to hunt down quarters and soap. I just learned that lesson, and I would just recommend if you think you might need to wash something, just be prepared so that way you don't have to try to search it out and then wait hours for your turn. And then this is kind of, again, just sort of more like utilitarian things. We've got stuff for our grace down here. We've got our different overflow for napkins. My handy dandy s'more kit. This is where all of our s'more supplies live. And then in the sink. So I have also discovered that although these sinks are amazing, and I love how big this sink is. This was a huge feature to me, and I am not sad about it at all. But I do keep an extra bin in here just so that when I'm doing dishes, I am not continuing to fill our gray tank, and it just makes it easier for stuff to be able to soak in here. There's also these really cool features behind the sink, which are they're like little mini garbage cans, and we're still evolving this. We're not like entirely married to what we're doing in here, but this bay here, I've just got some Kleenexes and then some wipes, and then like every good house should have a junk drawer. We have a junk bay. And it's, again, just like overflow. Dog tennis balls, there's some beer koozies, an umbrella, poop bag for the dog. So yeah, that is basically what's living in that bin there. And then really the last thing to share with you is our fridge. So we have this fully stocked because we were actually leaving in the morning to go camp for 5 days. So this kind of gives you an idea of how I am basically trying to balance stuff in here. This door is notoriously known for opening when traveling if it's heavy. So I try to be very conscientious about making sure that I'm not putting the heavy stuff in here, that I'm just keeping things that are light, and that if I do put something in here and if this were to fly open and it were to break, am I going to be cleaning up like pickle juice or tomato sauce? So you'll see that this is pretty safe down here. And then on the inside is where I have our heavier things, our milk, our juice for the girls. And I do also, again, I still really try to use these containers because it just helps, again, with keeping stuff from flying around. And also makes it easier to move around when I'm trying to get behind where something may live. Nothing super exciting happening in this freezer aside from this cute little ice tray here. Obviously not an ice maker, but I did find this neat little ice tray with this super flexible silicone, and it makes cute little ice cubes, and then we just kind of keep it filled up in here for drinks. And then last but not least, this great little thing up here. This is where our first aid kit lives, and also where all of our different medicines and a little small sewing kit. So if anybody has allergies or needs some Benadryl or a Band-Aid, which we go through a lot of, they live up here. But what I forgot to show you, the toys. So underneath this couch here is this little bay. And this is where all of the toys live for our girls that come camping with us. They do have dedicated camper toys, so that it's sort of an exciting, they know when they come camping this is what's going to be brought out, but they also know these are the toys that live in the camper. They are in their Barbie era right now, so this is basically all Barbie stuff, with the exception of a little tea set, which is very cute. It travels in this little case, and then like all kiddos of this age bracket, all the little things. So these are just from Dollar Store. They're little toolboxes, and I mean, for no rhyme or reason, stuff just goes in here, and it is like Christmas every time we get to site and this drawer gets open and these kids break stuff out. And I'm sorry, I keep going, and then, there's a little drawer in here. This is where I keep my sandwich bags. This was, I mean, I love Target. This was another Target find. It's just an all-in-one. So, I mean, I don't know if I saved anything, but I just in theory love the idea of all my sizes in one container here. And then I have two little drawers under there, and these guys pull out. They're a little hard to access. What's important to know about them is once the bed is made down, you can't get to them. So I try to just keep stuff in there that is, when I use it, I know the table is gonna be up. This guy has some games in it, just board games, different games that the kids might like to play. And then on this side over here is where we keep our campsite blankets. So when we're outside at the campfire, these are the blankets we usually pull out. Those are Rumple blankets that I got for Christmas, and they are amazing. I love them so much. But that's pretty much everything. That's our camper. This is how we stock it. I'm sure it will continue to evolve for us, but for now, this is what we're rolling with. Thanks for coming along.